Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with Black Ice installed. Of course, we're playing as Germany currently, so we're going to continue that. Yay! Okay, the SS Verfügung Troop SSVT. The SSVT was formed on 24 September 1934 from a merger of various Nazi and paramilitary formations such as the SS Special Detachment, the Sonderkommandos, and which is sort of an elastic term, and the SS Headquarters Guard Stabwatch units. The SSVT was to be made up of 3 regiments modeled on the infantry regiments of the German Army here, according to their regulation. Each regiment would contain 3 battalions, a motorcycle company, and a mortar company. The existence of the SSVT was publicly declared on March 1935 by Hitler in his speech in the Reichstag. The SSVT had to depend on the German army for its supply of weapons and military training, and they had control of the recruiting system through local draft boards responsible for assigning conscripts to the different branches of the Wehrmacht to meet quotas set by the German High Command, Oberkommando der Wehrmacht, or OKW in German. The SS was given the lowest priority for recruits, thereby limiting its size. Well, that last bit about the recruits is not strictly true. At this time period, there really wasn't a problem with draft situations and the size of the army. It was very much more of an SS situation. They only had a small 3 regiment, basically, I guess, Sturmbahn, Sturmbahn, or whatever it was, sorry, and that's all it was. The service in the, shall we call it, the Allgemeine or General SS was sort of a somewhere between a party formation like the SA was, and somewhere between sort of a governmental police type service, so that they were still theoretically answerable to military national call-up. I say theoretically because the power position wasn't so similar. Now, once looking into 39, with the war starting in it, at any one time, you can look up if you do enough research, you can find the regulation, and so it sort of changes over time. But the size of the Vapin SS, which is different than the SS, but the Vapin SS, which the SSVT becomes or transforms into, was set at limited amounts for the conscription, and it was sort of some sort of percentage and formula, but it did, shall we say, have, if you will, the highest priority, in the sense that it got its sort of the first choice of recruits, but it was sort of limited in size, if you understand. So if you qualified and wanted to be in the Vapin SS, you got there. The army didn't keep you if the Vapin SS wanted you up to the side. This is why very early on the Vapin SS starts recruiting foreigners, because foreigners weren't subject to German drafting, and so they were recruiting initially Germans or German-speaking people, if you will, that were not German citizens, such as some of the early cases of it was when some of the Vapin SS units were moving through places like Hungary. They were actually, as they were units were moving through, they were getting additional recruits that wouldn't necessarily qualify under the general SS regulations for racial purity and all that BS, but they were good recruits, and the Vapin SS needed them, so they were doing that, and then they later expanded it to different ethnicities, going rather extreme on it. So because, and what to some degree that did limit its size then, but what also limited its size was its very high casualty rate, so units and were harder to form because they kept needing units needed replacements instead of new units. So that's sort of how that works. So that's somewhat true, but okay, so we have that now. So we're all caught up there. That would be a nice one to do, but I think what I want to do is start building some west wall forts. Don't know how. We'll look at the levels once we get the first one's built to see how big we're going to do. Okay, factory at level 5 is reached. For artillery, great. We're still in 37, and my general rule, though of course with different games and the mechanics and time it changes, my general rule is to build primarily civil, but these are just so quick to build, civil factories until 38, then start converting over to military factories, then 38. And it seems to work out well that I can build a big enough army to do everything I need to in the sort of 39. Well, normally I normally start by 1940 with the different sort of tech tree things to start in 40 and get all of the sort of 39 and 40 German conquests of France, Poland, at least Denmark, maybe getting up into Norway in that year, and just have a busy year there and keep everything big enough army and a this is a okay, to sort of dual there. That's that one, which is good. Which is what you need, is to have enough units created and enough equipment, for replacing combat losses. Let's go with basic fighter factories. We have another one. But honestly, I don't know with black ice how that will work out. I am intentionally making limited production of stuff that's needed for import. Okay, Ascari veterans. This is a Tanganyika event. Those of you who have been playing the mod since, and there's a few of you way back even before Third Reich Events was first released, already know most of this, but I presume there's going to be some new people. When hyperinflation hit the German economy of the Weimar Republic, very early on, it was unable to continue the pensions for the Ascari veterans, who are obviously now subjects of the British Empire. We owe those who fought for the German Empire to pay them their pensions and back pay, or are they now British subjects, so we don't need to. The real history is of course, give money to subhumans never. That's somewhat my editorializing, but the Nazi regime did not pay the pensions. I was doing research and I found that, I know I've told this story before, so bear with me those of you who've heard it, in the either very late 40s or very early 50s, down in Tanganyika primarily, because that's where most of them were. I don't know if they went to Cameroon or Southeast Africa, but they sent a team of, I don't know, like 4 people down to Tanzania, sort of as it was by that time, still within the British. I don't know if it got its independence at the time. I don't think it had yet, but I may be wrong on that. The West German government sent a team down to pay the pensions for the now rather elderly surviving men from World War I. And so they made arrangement, publicized that they were coming down there, and a bunch of old men showed up, some of them with uniform remnants, patches, or some with still had paperwork. But there were a bunch that just, over time, that they didn't have any of these records, and they weren't even sure whether people that showed up, was it their pieces of uniform or their, like a shoulder board or a patch or something like that, or was this paperwork really referring to them? So one of the diplomats down there sort of had the bright idea. They went around and they got a bunch of brooms. Don't know how many, and I set up, and they had they started calling, and I don't know exactly under the conditions whether it was all individually or in groups or whatever. They started calling out the order of arms, which is right shoulder arms, left shoulder arms, port arms, those kinds of things that you learn in German, because although the Ascaris did not speak German as a general language, and the German officers that at least were any good put over them learned the various, I guess, tribal languages. I don't know how many and whatnot down in Tanganyika, and whether they were recruited just from a few tribes or something, learned to be able to communicate obviously with their troops. Their drill commands, their language of command for march and halt and all that was German, so that they had to know and not be British Ascaris. They had to know all the commands properly in German and do it smartly, and basically all of the reporters, basically all of them were able to do that. And so that sort of gave me the idea for this event that shows up here. And this is based on my thinking of is if Germany put more, this is where it goes back to more funding of the, the KKR, the Colonial Veterans Unit, then Vobeck and crew can put more pressure on the German government to pay the Ascari pensions as well now. And so this is what they're agitating for to do. And if you do this, the historical one was just a one-time payment, sort of all your back pay, and by 30 years later, life expectancy, whatever, just give you a one-time shot at it. This is going to be a expensive first year. The years after this will be cheaper because, and it's political power because we no longer have money in the game. You so you're going to pay a big hit first year because it's sort of your back pay, and up to 1937, if peace continues, you will be asked to pay more if you go down this road. But you, for this generosity, you will gain, if you conquer down here, you'll gain German cores, not just British cores. So we will do this. We will pay the Ascari pensions, which costs us 60 political power. Now I want to say that Hearts of Iron 4 nerfed Hitler's political power gain in half, and which I did take a note that it's still, well, okay, it was down at 25% in the standard game. It's at 30% for Third Reich events, which is sort of based to play with the Tanganyika mod as well, although there's a standalone version. It's remained at the 50% because I use a lot of political power points to pay things like the Ascari pensions, and yes, we do have a little bit of political power for having the Vapin SS here. We do have other things within Third Reich events that will grant political power that sort of offset and balance that kind of thing a little better. So that may not be the most ideal 60 political power point, but not so bad. That's just changing, you know, not even half of changing a tech company. So, all right, Panzer IIIs, like I was saying earlier, good tanks. We've got that researched. We're researching better fighters. I have not produced any of the 109As. I'm going to wait for the Cs to switch over production. Get a volume of it up before the war as we continue to do this. I really like this. I am not an aircraft specialist, so I don't know this. I'm sort of, because didn't that sort of happen in 40 for the Battle of Britain to some degree? Maybe not. Yeah, again, I'm not, you know, like obviously things that I researched, like the Ascaris, I researched that well, and things like the Vapin SS, I've had a long history of knowledge and research on them, so I'm good on all that. These, obviously, I know the basic, you know, 111s and 110s and whatever types, but I'm not a technical type person on them, so I hope they've done this well, and I'm sort of trusting that they have. Okay, let's see. We're going to do the better pressure hull, I think. Yeah.
Angetreten.
Skills and training, good. I do like text like this because, how do I put this? I don't know if I was playing as Bulgaria with many fewer slots, because I presume they're the same industrial basic tech tree. Whether you're going to use slots on this or use slots to just get your basic artillery up, you know, it sort of helps define better the difference between a major and a minor power. Still looking at getting our production going well. Yeah, let's do that. I know it's 1%, but that does help. Okay, well. No, I want to do heavy aircraft factory. And west of all forts. Well, good. Okay, does that immediately... Okay, it immediately gives me level 3s there. Level 3's there. I don't know if that'll be enough or not. I mean, it's enough for now because we're not going to war right now. We don't get Fritz Todt until there. How interesting. Research fighters, which if we're researching those, that would be a good bonus eventually there. We'll do that as well. Treaty with USSR. Domestic Soviet Pact. Let's do the anti-Comintern Pact, then maybe the Anschluss. We'll see how that goes.
Ihre Befehle?
Destruction and fighter types have improved. Okay, good. Now we want to come over here because I want to increase resource gain efficiency as is possible. Man, this... Okay, don't know if we want to change tech company before I do some other research or not. I sort of posted a question before making this in the Black Ice forum and haven't gotten a solid answer yet. I know how it works in the standard game and I sort of looked at the code, but I'm not sure just how it's going to work. Well, I'm just looking to... These are all going to be hitting 38, except for paratrooper equipment. 200 days. Yeah, this is only 10%. But we do need to go through some of that, so we'll go with that. We are going to get some of these pretty quick still. Oh, and we did, so what I want to do now here is reduce uniform maintenance here. And I think we'll also reduce small arms by 1. And I'm not going to spend any power upgrading these. And send them to the top. I definitely want them higher priority than the ships. So we get those in production. We need a lot more tungsten. And our fighters here, let's also increase these. I'm not going to spend this to upgrade it. I really like this here, which does what that engine does, and show the outdated because I played around with that a little bit. This, if we were going with this model, we could, add bomb racks or this engine to it, or the Jumo engine. I really like that. If I'm hoping all these facts are good, but that is really awesome, guys. The Black Ice team is doing good. So, oh, we still have to do this. That's right. We just going with the straight model, going to better production. Okay, so I sort of want to upgrade that, but I need to upgrade those two, so that's going to take 3. Factories away, as it is. Oh, Kingdom of Romania, we can do much more trading with that. That's good. It'll help us in the long run, I hope. Okay, well, we're going to end this episode here. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. And of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, and if you can, share the videos on some other social media platform. It really helps. Thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.